Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 24th, presented by Mercury. I'm down here at ICAST, but the guys are still back up there wailing away on our waterways. We're going to check in with Josh Herron on Logan Martin and Lay Lake. We're going to check in with Tracy Robinson talking about fishing at Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. And then, of course, we're going to check in with Tom Ott as he tells us everything we need to know about Guntersville. So stay tuned right here, and we'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 24th. Hey, I'm at ICAST this week, all the new tackle, but we're going to keep checking in with our guys. Josh Herron, I know you've been out there spending a little bit of time on the water playing. You got some new baits that you're working on, but you're out there. Tell us what's going on at Logan Martin and Lay Lake these days.
Oh, man, it ain't bad. It could be worse, but it's summertime fishing. Everybody's out and about. So you got to go out there with a good attitude and a kind of island life mentality about it, and it'll be a good day. It's still a pretty early gig for me right now. Dock bite seems to be doing okay. We've got a ton of rain, so it's added a lot more color back to the Coosa. And, man, it's probably a good change.
Well, I know that a lot of times you get that high water, especially in the early springtime, and the fish will move shallow. Are you finding more of that right now, or is the current just kind of keeping them where they are, but maybe just a little more active?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's going to make them crawl up on the bank. It's just making them more active. I mean, anytime you supply a large influx of water, it really helps, especially in this hotter weather. So it kind of gives them another gear and kind of makes them feed a little bit more steadily and a little bit more what I'd call reliable.
So what kind of tactics are you using? You said docks. Are you skipping jigs? Are you shaky heads around them and then maybe offshore?
Yeah, I mean, jig fishing's great. Even a slider head's really good until this dirtier water. But slider heads, Nico rigs, wacky rigs, these fish get really pounded on, especially at Logan. So you got to kind of get creative and think outside the box a little bit. But they'll still eat. You just got to give them an opportunity to.
What about the offshore bite? Are we talking crank plugs still, 6XD type things, big worms and football jigs maybe?
Yeah, the 6XD thing's still good. Hair jigs. You cast a drop shot. You can catch a ton of fish casting a drop shot on the Coosa. So.
Well, Josh, as always, man, we appreciate everything that you do to help our customers and your customers catch a few more fish. But we will talk to you again soon and hope that things keep going for you guys down there as well.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 24th, presented by Mercury. Hey, I'm down here at ICAST in Orlando, Florida. I'm looking at all the new tackle that's going to be in the loft in the next 6 months or so. But we still want to make sure to check in with our friends and our pros out there. We're going to follow up right now with Tracy Robinson. Tracy, I know that you've been spending some time on the water, spending quite a bit of time on the water because that's what you do. Tell us what's going on up there at Weiss Lake and what's going on at Neely Henry these days.
Weiss Lake's a little bit still more of the same. It's still the summertime pattern, the ledge bite still. Where I'd been catching them mostly on crankbaits, I am still catching a few on the 6XDs, 5XDs, but I have had to resort a little bit more to dragging around the Carolina rig to get some of these bites. Some of these fish that are stacked up on some of these points are getting hit pretty hard by all the tournaments going on at Weiss. So a little bit more finicky now, so I'm having to be a little bit not as aggressive with them, but they're still biting. The bigger fish are still hard to come by. Almost all the tournaments right now for the past week have been about a 3-pound average weighing in. Big fish has been about 4 to 5 pounds, so not a lot of your bigger fish being caught, but they can be caught. They're biting at different times during the day. There's usually a good morning bite. 8 to 10, I've got a pretty good bite going on. And then again, the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock timing. But they're not biting all day long. But if you just keep jumping around to the places that they should be on or that they are, you'll get bit at some point during the day. And you got to take advantage of it when you do.
I know it may not be a great time at Weiss Lake to go crappie fishing, but I'm sure you're seeing some crappie boats out there. Where are you seeing all those guys?
Mostly kind of out in the big creek channels, 25, 30 foot of water. I'll see them come up a little bit higher in the water column during the day at some point, but Yellow Creek, Little River, kind of the mouths of those two creeks is where I'm seeing the most crappie.
So turning to Neely Henry, tell us what's going on our river.
Up the lake, it's still the same. It's plastics and jigs and the laydowns. Been a lot more current this week, 24,000. The Weiss Dam, so a lot of current rolling down has made it a lot more difficult to fish up there. So that bite slowed down a little bit this week because of all the current. Mid lake still they're biting pretty good. I fished yesterday again, and just in 3 hours, a good 15 to 20 bites there, just pitching in trees and nasty little grass patches and whatnot. They are up close to the bank. I guess kind of getting out of the current. My thought on that, but they are definitely eating on Neely.
Well, man, Tracy, as always, we appreciate everything. And folks, that'll do it for your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 24th, presented by Mercury. Thanks again, Trace.
Thank you, Dano.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 24th, presented by Mercury. I'm on down here in Orlando. Am I vacationing? No, I'm at ICAST looking at all the tackle that's going to be in the loft and around the industry for the next several years. Anyway, let's check in with Tom Ott is up at Guntersville. Tom, tell us what's going on the big lake.
Well, I'm a little jealous right now. I'd like to be down in Orlando with you, but I tell you, Dano, things just keep changing on Guntersville right now. The flipping bite's really coming on, or punching bite. That seems to be, what a lot of folks are getting out and doing. I'm still catching a lot of fish out, in the intermediate depths, but getting a little bit freaky with the baits, throwing a shaky head seems to be working real well. Net heads, things like that, things that the fish really don't see out there deeper. But what we're starting to see is a lot of good schooling action. So, you guys would like to get out there in the middle of the day, throw that big Zara spook on top of, a big school of fish. This is the time to do it right now. You can even throw a crankbait on some of those fish and catch them pretty easily. And usually once you get into them, you can just stay with them. But, it's typical summertime pattern right now on Guntersville. Lots of gnats, lots of boats, and catching some good fish here and there.
Well, you said you're seeing schooling action. Is it only largemouth, or are you seeing other species that you're out there getting in the middle of that kind of stuff that you might run into occasionally?
We're seeing a bunch of strike, bunch of yellow fish, yellow bass, white bass, that kind of thing. And it seems like the largemouths kind of tend to hang around those fish, but out to the side a little bit. In the larger bays, I'm seeing some good 2-3 pound fish, schools that are coming up. And really, it's just kind of a wait game. You just wait. When you see them, you make that cast and you start you'll catch a few and then you'll drive them back down. Just wait for them to come back up again. But there's definitely, there's a whole bunch of stuff out there, species that are swimming around eating right now for sure.
Well, I know that you can also find a few fish offshore, maybe on those ledges, but you're going to fish around crowds. And some people don't just like that. So we really appreciate you giving a little bit more info to where they might be able to find a few more. But if they were going to go fish offshore, what kind of techniques would you say that they should use?
Well, I'm telling you, that football jig has really been a player this year. Deep crankbaits this time of the year seem like it's kind of breaking the schools up a little bit. So, a drop shot, Ned rig, shaky heads, those kind of things. If you can get those 3/8 ounce sizes down there, if you don't, you're not getting a lot of wind or a whole lot of heavy current right now. But those baits that are a little bit more subtle seem to be able to, you can pluck more fish off of the school before you kind of, scatter them out.
Well, I appreciate it, Tom. Thanks for spending the time with us, and we'll talk to you again next week. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 24th, presented by Mercury. Thanks to the guys for always helping us. We know that we hear that a lot of people use that information every weekend to go catch a few fish. So, as always, we like to help you at Bucks Island. And if you want to stay in tune with the things that we're doing, subscribe, like all of our social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. That way you'll be notified whenever we go live. And then, of course, anytime you need anything, feel free to contact us at the shop. Come see us in the loft, and we'll be able to help you put what you need in your boat to be able to catch a few more fish. Thanks for spending the time with us today, and we will talk to you again next week.